Hello, Tanya. Oh, hold on. Yeah, sounds on. Sounds on. Subject. Let me just. And is on. Let me just go into this. You see that? I've come across information that I can't go specifics about, but generalise. So, how are you? What's the time for you? I'm about to get a bloody new printer because when they did a home event, damaged ink. Oh, of my computer. I mean, what was I saying? The ink cartridge damaged the printer. So that's another expense. Anyway, the point of this stream is transhumanism of brain. Psychological for the future of the biotech and to the implants. Psychological warfare is nothing new for target individuals, but this for the military, public servants, UK, America, etc. The takeover of the world, a communist state. Bring in China, bring in their promoting their communism into to the world. Deep state, absolutely. So the military, all those years people served in the military, for example in America, losing their jobs, honourable discharge, no pay, no benefits, nothing. I'm only on this channel, which is, there is sound on this one. You could only get me on here. So 10th of the 10th 2021 UK. So the let me get the documents up. I won't repeat an email information I've got, but I knew US soldiers speak out, America's under attack, prepare yourself now. Published 7th of October 2021. And there's a documentary about special forces, many soldiers, marines and operators, IC members, police, sheriffs, marshals, veterans, doctors, nurses, patriots, all walks of life who are risking everything to defend American people from the freedom worldwide. The fog of war is about to get extremely thick. To counter-confuse, we are releasing the first 4 parts series of a 4-part video. I knew this was in the pipeline, even for England, for the UN-style policing. And then bringing the robotics, artificial intelligence on top. The claim on this article, here's a statement put out. National Security Alert, Act of War. Thousands of US Special Forces combat troops discharged as total force, but a certain subject I can't mention is causing concerns. And military readiness. There's a link to National Security Alert, Art of War, and a website. Let me see if I'm on the website. Be careful what I say. In defense of decentralized uprising in defense of humanity. Tactically organize the best defense against tyranny. A good website up. I'm not even a member. I'm just having a quick look to see if they put up a statement. Set up, obviously. Let's see about the blog. They've got a post on their blog. Yep, they have. So, a certain weaponization, well, goes into the Navy, warns of national security threat from, you know what, act of war, and there's sources. I can't go into specifics. Now, there was, first one was the 6th of September 2021, 16th September 2021, and then the update version, let's have a look, it was a blog, 8th of October 2021. So, a combat troop discharge total force, you know what, discriminates against the military. The attack on US military is a record history. The editor's statement corresponds with the 4-hour crowdsourced funding documentary and featuring personal accounts of many soldiers. For further information, it says watch it. An estimated 350.000 of military service members are being dishonorably discharged for refusing for you know what, which is now proven to be, well, I can't quote on that. So basically, a total force to these, you know what, which I can't repeat because it's on a website. I can't repeat on YouTube. Claims there's a lot of going on, and a lot of these individuals have refused a certain offer. So they knew why they've been told, right, honourable, not an honourable discharge. So to make matters worse, an estimated of 450.000 service members have recently certain things that happened to them. Though many were certain things, I can't quote certain information on this blog. This world is turning into a transhumanism agenda 2050. What's the world going to be like? Because they allege privately bringing in the global private military complex. Capture the top of US military command and is sympathetically discharging the original US military, part of the world's strategy to weaken national civilian militaries. Our militaries are our greatest asset and primary target. Make no mistake. To dishonorably discharge thousands over most elite fighting forces is a blatant act of war against the American people. What do you think? I wonder what's going on in the UK. Where else? The all-out systematic attacks against American people are acts of war. There are so many outrageous, corrupt activities and systematic abuses presently happening under the skies of public health. Can't read it all, obviously. Throughout it claims, I'm just going to abbreviate, The policy, apparently in America, dishonorable discharge, also makes it likely that many of the most elite fighting forces will now be inclined to take jobs as mercenaries in a global private military complex to support their young families. How convenient to be privately hired. The American people are now up against the same playbook of policies that have been strategically deployed to destabilize, allegedly, I'm going to put here, the Middle East, Latin America, and many other nations worldwide. Now, the globalist war on terror is targeting the first world populations. The mandate attack against the US military, police, doctors, nurses, critical sectors, tactical destabilization. 101. Bottom line, there are significant members of people throughout the intelligence community, military and special forces in particular, who know Rome has fallen. And it quotes reference to New World Order. The terrorist attacking humanity has become absolutely arrogant. We are experiencing an imperial overreach that occurs when an endangered hierarchy power structure collapses. No, I think I pronounced that wrong. Oligarchy. This compromised Biden administration has also launched an attack against all US veterans who do not take a certain offer by November the 1st, 2021. All non-taking certain offers veterans will be denied also healthcare, another act of war to aid the long list of abuses. There's also a new red flag gun law that targets veterans and newly discharged troops. If anyone reports them for vague or minor suspensions, they will have their guns taken away from them. The Biden administration is given and trying to call in the United Nations Blue Helmet troops to be deployed throughout the US to enforce international gun control, undermining Second Amendment rights. Bloody hell. Everything that has happened over the past week is all coming right after deliberate botched Afghanistan withdrawal, which was claimed to be designed to destroy troop morale, create division among the ranks. In fact, there's a Lieutenant Stuart Sheller who had been fighting this war for 17 years as the highest ranking Marine to publicly speak out. Now, after 13 of the fellow troops unnecessarily killed, demanded accountability from the top of the Tremaine command, and is now a political prisoner in a pre-trial. Bloody hell. For an indefinite period of time with no charges ever been filed against him. Can't believe that. All of this is happening, and more than 7,800,000 doctors and scientists have signed a petition declaration condemning policymakers for authoritarian strategies that cause needless illness and death without which amounts to crime against humanity. As we covered, and goes into certain subjects I can't mention. Weaponized. The agenda is all to turn man, individuals into machines. Biotech. Transhumanism. One needs to research. Diet. Yeah, but the rest, my chest pains and stuff. They're not allowed. What's that? They are allowed out today. if they have that. Bloody hell. The police lady, Melbourne, quit her job. She was high up in the police force. Wow. See what I can share. I can. This is on, I've got to watch what I share. Hold on. Got to be careful what the words I share as well. I might be able to share this page where people can look at the information. I'll try it. I've got to strike with the channel. Preparing for war. This is a war. I knew it. Okay, so if you know about Rumble, this is what it says about America and where they're going to be. It's going to be a war. There's a website. There is a link to the National Security Act of War. I've got to stop screen sharing that one. I'll go into the actual document. Right, this is all going into, some people can do their own research. I'll screen share this one. You've got to be careful what you share and what you say these days, in any format. Alright. Really? I was just trying to get something to eat, but I'm so tired. Okay. This is basically, as you know, about the applications for the computer technology. I mean, sold hat implants 40 years ago. What do you think they've got now? Human biology. They want to turn the human body into a biological system, linking up with a supercomputer. That's the ultimate transhumanism. This article basically describes about the two-way communication of the brain. The brain this is what they want. They want to turn the brain into the hive mind to upload to supercomputers. They've already been doing that for a long time, haven't they, entire individuals. But this is much more to link up with the, allegedly, who knows, they're using the 5G technology. The frequencies, not just radio frequencies, microwave, scalar waves, the technique ultimate to change behaviours, everything about the human. So if you've got, access to the brain, and you control the body and the smart technologies, the technology is so advanced. This article covers how surgeons have been placing transmitters into individuals on the operating table since the 1960s. So you think what they're doing now? So, and you go back in history for the research, development processes and the biotech all those years ago today. This is what they're doing for the future. The rid of humanity as we know it. And if you're against their takeover, communist control, you're seeing the enemy of the state. So in depth of the brain, to send and receive, if they want to hive mind everybody thinking, doing the same. It's a bit like that movie called They Live. So This is an article back here, reference Choose the Future, claiming back as 1972. So the infringement of individual integrity and human rights and God-given rights naturally born with is always been, and people can get now information of what's happening with electronic magnetic wave and penetrating their skull and brainwashing techniques and the history. I mean, it's much more deeper than that, isn't it? But think about these individual doctors. I mean, 1950s in both East and West ignored the oaths of their professions for their research and the methods and torture and mind control. So this current things now is nothing new. There's more out there now in the open, isn't it? Everyone's being targeted now. So the if you speak out about certain things, the powers that be that don't even know, you're labelled with their system. Individuals are going to be labelled with a system. This is just, nobody is, you know, when you research certain information about how it's all about profit, labelling people with certain labels which they don't have, setting ups that get organised, stalking, gaslighting, and then the brain computer systems and the infringement of the basic right to life. I mean, this is it now, isn't it, more than ever? The threat to humanity is now global, more than ever. So this article, well, this is a book, this is one chapter of an individual that had loads of tests done, you know, and found they implanted him with a brain chip. So it makes you wonder why people don't want to take a certain offer, because back in the history, periods of history, all these certain offers of certain things, which can't be specific. It's always been a risk to certain things, isn't there? But finding out the technologies, Frankenstein technologies, really. Where do the movies come from? Where did the script writing come from? From the Satanists, from the demonic devil worshipping. Get out screen sharing on that. So let me have a look at another one. So basically, what kind of people will want to sterilise the babies aborted and the world's population reduced? Go watch your time. Just gonna get a drink. Oh, excuse us. Oh. Let's have a look. Depopulation of the planet. The Great Reset, isn't it? When the American Secret Intelligence did. Wow, what's that one? Let's have a look. That gives us a website. Russia to launch newest something ultralight rocket 2020. Australia requests sale of 12 multi-mission helicopters. US Army takes delivery of the first long-range hypersonic weapon ground launcher. Let's have a look. It's a website. I won't go into that right now. Let's get rid of that one. So put the Great Reset. Global. This is it. The Great Reset button. To achieve an outcome, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of society's economy, education, social contracts, working conditions. Every country, from United States to China, must participate. Every industry, from oil, gas to tech, must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. There are many reasons to pursue, but the most urgent is, and it quotes the Economic Forum, doesn't it? So the Great Reset, previously known as One World Order. So it goes into certain things. I'm looking for English. They're quoting, I mean, this is, if you can research these things. A threat to use to bully the public into accepting the Great Reset. Climate lockdowns on the horizon next. They had enough. 20 things the you know what group reveals about humanity. Let's have a look. I've got to be careful what I share. We've learned a lot about a fellow man of the course of, you know what, 2020 and 2021. Unflattering UK-based rapper known as Subri recently listed 20 things on Twitter, and his list went viral. Most people rather be in the majority than be right. Excuse me. 20% of the population has strong authoritarian tendencies, which will merge under the right conditions. Fear of death is only revealed by the fear of social disapproval. The latter could be stronger. Propaganda just as effective as modern days than it was 100 years ago. Access to limited information has not made the average individual any wiser. Anything and everything and will be politicized, I think pronounced it right, by the media, government and those who trust them. Many politicians and large corporations will gladly sacrifice human lives, allegedly, I'm going to put here, okay, for my disclaimer, as if it conducted to their political and financial aspirations, really? Most people believe government acts in the best interests of the people. Even many who are vocal critics of the government. The government are pieces of paper. It gives the power and the energy to it if you do. They're corporations. Once they have made up their mind, most people would rather commit to being wrong than admit they were wrong. Humans can be trained and conditioned quickly and relatively easily. Alter their behaviours for better or worse. When Significantly frightened, most people will not only accept authorization, but demand it. People who are dismissed as conspiracy theorists are often well researched and simply ahead of the mainstream narrative. So, most people value safety and security more than freedom and liberty. Really? Even if it's said safety is merely an illusion. The adoption occurs in both directions, and once sets in, it's difficult to get people back to normal. A significant percentage of people thoroughly enjoy being subjugated. I think I pronounced that right. The science have evolved into circular religion for millions of people in the West. The religion has little to do with science itself. Most people care about looking like they are doing the right thing rather than actually doing it. Current politics, media, science and healthcare industries are all certain, abilities, degrees. I can't mention certain keywords. Scientists and doctors can be brought, claimed to be, the bloodline families infiltrated. Who knows? If you make people comfortable enough, they will not revolt. You can keep millions docile as you strip of their rights by giving them money, food and entertainment. Modern people are overly complacent, lack vigilance when it comes to defending their own freedoms from outreach tyrant. Didn't quite word it that way, but it seems like that. It's easier to fool an individual than to convince them that they have been fooled. The mind control, consciousness and psychopolitics, the global reset. I'm just going to show this one. This doesn't have anything. This one is just for those to research what's behind a lot of things. Let me screen share. Do not fear. It's easier said than done, because life is very short. Very, very, very short. Digital currency, and that's a heading. Anyone can research it up. So what's the climate change now? The climate lockdown is a horizon, a threat used to bully the public intercepting a great reset. From Off Guardian website, maybe. All you need is less. Why do you think there's smart technology? Smart this, smart that. And you look at ancient history. You want to live in your means? Yes, of course. I'm not going to screen share this at the moment. I have to get it first. I'll make for a minute.
UK Awake World joined.
Don't know how long they've been hacking me for that. So, it looks like they're hacking this. So, looks like takeover. It's not just USA, is it? It's just go back into new link. So thousands of US special forces and troops are going to bring in the UN, one world government, one world military, one world police force. Yeah, prepare yourself, because nobody's going to sit, especially the ex-military who's been forced to leave. They're not going to sit back like that. Combat troops, special forces, especially trained. So, what date was this published? Just have a look. 7 October 2021, not that long ago. I can't play it, on this platform, of course. Let me go back in my original documents I found. Let's close some tabs off. All the due population genetically modified. It's not through food. It's not food. Putting fluoride in the water, maybe. Well-placed military source. Let's have a look. They want to control everything, The Rockefellers, Big Pharma, war against individuals, it's a huge, big corporations. It goes into the IT as well, everything. Imagine geoengineering weather, coming crisis of the food. It's playing to the hands of the global elites for the population destabilization. Let's have a look at this article. Dated 2012, this is. They're already been manipulating the weather, so 2010 United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization stated the rise in food prices is directly correlated to the 80 million people being added to the world's population annually. The fact, according to the globalists at the UN, is beginning to tax both the skills of farmers, the limits of the earth, land and water resources. So it's about controlling it all. Demonic, isn't it? I bet the elites are over somewhere else where they're not going to be affected. Added to the problem of 3 million people who are moving up the food chain, eating more than their share in gallons, nations like, this is what's implied in the article, United States and China. New York mayor claimed at the time that the city planned to ban sugary beverages larger than 16 ounces to curb the wasteness. Don't get me wrong. You want to contain and within your remit and for your health, for individual. It should be an individual choice, not to be dictated to, though. This article implies, I mean, they've been planning this for a long time, it's nothing new. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, everything needs to be nutritious, but where can you buy affordability? That's going to help your personal choice and health as well, best you can be, while you're being tortured in the targeted program on top. So, take away the monetary system as we know it, and take away the ability to buy the freedom of choice where you can buy your, have a place to live. Without jobs, you could lose your homes, isn't it? So water is a commodity. I knew that would be more expensive than oil. I knew that when I first started researching. The water is what the body needs, natural water, not the, So I notice in my area, they're holding back supplies. They're only getting so much in just for the couple of days. That's why they changed from a bigger store to a smaller store, so they can control. I'm not sure what the bigger supermarkets are like. I'm not aware of what's going on there myself, unless anyone else knows. Let me have a quick nose. So the UN and Oxfam warning nations that scarcity of water, which limits food production, causes another food crisis. As I said, it's 2012 this was. But I still see people having kids, young kids and stuff. So, are they meant to be taking what? So they're controlled and, I mean, there's a plan here. Reproductive Health Action Plan 2010-2020, the UN's Millennium Development Goal 5. The goal calls for 75% reduction of maternity mortality and universal access to reproductive health by 2015, whatever that meant to me. Let's have a look. Population stabilisation. The true meaning behind family planning, and is evident of the World Bank and the UN population funds. I think this is harmless to share. Just to get a background where it's all come from, really. Yeah. So I'll screen share this article because, I mean, this is 2012, before everything else has been kicking off. So this is always a UN, world elites, global elites. This always goes back to the 13 bloodline families, I find, and their genetic history to date where we are. Yeah, here we go. So we go to the top of the page, you can see what I found. So you can see it's September the 8th, 2012. Playing to the global elites' demand for popularization. Stabilization. He controls, there's a saying, I can't remember it now. Anyway, I'm scrolling down a bit. So they want people to become vegetarians. It's like if you already are. The more the planet's water is scrutinized by private corporations, the governments, and some globalists suggest that the world's population will have to become a vegetarian in order to survive. So, eating bugs. I remember a TV show years ago about, perhaps that's why they were doing that show in Australia. and it would show people surviving in the jungle, eating bugs and all sorts. I wonder if that was a psychological tactic program to prepare the mind of the populace for that's what could be the future. This brings it to become a vegetarian. Let's see what they say about that. See if there's any interlinked, perhaps. TheGuardian.com website. Here it's up. They're always hacking me and get my data. Food shortages could force the world into vegetarianism, claim scientists. Wow, what date is this? I can't see a date. Oh my lord, 26th of August 2002. Agenda 2030. She was right all along, wasn't she? I can't remember what she called now. Water shortages, scarcity, effects on food production. We need to feed the population to reach 9 billion. Really? By the year 2050? Is that why the depopulation agenda then? Leading water scientists issued some of the stringent warnings yet about global food supplies, saying that the world's population may have to switch almost completely to be a vegetarian diet over the next 40 years to avoid the shortages. Humans survive about 20% of protein for animal-based products now, but this may need to drop to 5% to feed the extra 2 million people expected to be alive by 2050, according to research. Let's have a look at the research then. Well, I'll go in a minute. There will not be enough water available on current corpulence to produce food for the 9 million population. Oh, here's an article. Publication. It is a water-related issues. One of the main channels of this is the publication programs. So you've got the strategy here, Action Platform for Source C Management Strategy 2021-2050. Somebody did a home invasion and damaged my attack, and I can't fix it. What's this about? Where are they based? They're based in Sweden. What do they do? Are they think tank? World, oh my goodness me, look. World Water Week I'll get out of that and go about Wales. They're claiming there won't be enough water to produce food by 2050. The report and their colleagues of Stockholm International Water Institute claimed there'd be just enough water if the population of animal-based foods is limited to 5% of total calories. Should the regional water defects can be met by a reliable system of food trade. The dire warnings of water scarcity limiting food production came. Here we go. Oxfam and UN prepare for staples such as corn and wheat has risen relatively 50% on international markets, triggered by monsoons, rains in Asia, and more than 80 million people already facing serious food shortages in certain Far East and Asian areas. Oxfam forecast the price spike will have a devastating impact in developing countries, heavily on food imports, including parts of the Latin America, North America, and Middle East. Food shortages in 2008 led to civil unrest in 28 countries. Adopting a vegetarian diet is one option, increases the amount of water available to grow more food. Let's have a quick look down. Animal-rich protein and food consumes 5 to 10 times more. This is what they imply. Crop growth. 900 million people already go hungry, and 2 billion are malnourished, in spite of the fact that per capita food production, this is 2000, what did I say, the article? Let's have a quick look. The agriculture growing more food to feed additional 2 billion by year 2050 will place greater pressure on water and land. So the annual World Water Conference in Stockholm, Sweden at the time, 2,000 participants, UN bodies and non-government groups, and researchers in 102 countries met to address the global water problems. Let's have a quick look. Let's go back to the original article. So, that was that report I was looking at. There will not be enough water. Yeah, so I read about that. And I read the other part, briefly, some of it. So, the biometrics professor of New York University proposes that the masses takes a pill that would cause nausea when an individual ate meat, and that would eventually create a lasting, distaste for eating meat. So proposals to take a pill to stop eating meat. And when's this article? 2012. And who is this individual proposed that? In the meanwhile, the quest to become, oh my god, an anorexic type thin is still a vogue sought after leaving the average American confused about the self-image. Oh my gosh. Perhaps a portion of the problem facing Americans with their eating habits stems from the, oh look, GOM foods. I can't speak now. As a chocolate that is described mood stabilizing drug. The brain manipulation is no surprise, but where chemical inhibitors comes from the use of certain acids, such as it claims in the article, as antidepressants, calming the mood and other related conditions. Pointing out of the US investment in a certain drug, drain on the world's food stores, which wow, she did say, got hacked again. Oh, thank you. I was wondered what it was. Yeah, stopthecrime.net. She said about the water. Yeah, I remember that now. Thanks for that, Tanya. Yeah. She did, didn't she? She's warning a while ago about all this. So all links in to what's going on, doesn't it? Her articles are warning for years and years, isn't it? So what? Take a pill to stop you wanting meat. So the World Bank president implied food prices rose again. This is back in 2012. I don't know when it relates to this. Threatening the health and well-being of millions of people. Africa and Middle East particularly vulnerable. Well, the weather as well, doesn't it? Because of the drought, Obama offered through the USDA a purchase $1.7 million in pork, chicken, lamb, and financial burden. What's that related to? The White House announced the use of this food in food aid programs. Water resources are directly tied to global food supplies, and more of the planet's water is scrutinized. Yeah, I noticed that. By private corporations, the governments and globalists suggest the world's population may have to become, vegetarian to life, which I saw that go down a bit. She did stopthecrime.net. David Eduardo. Yeah. Look down. So an S. Matthew Lello bioethics suggested to take a pill so you wouldn't eat meat. Okay, we're going down here. But the ethics professor also thinks very highly. Oh, here we go. Of China's one-child policy. That was the first instructed by Mayo, modelled. Oh, here we go. After Henry Kissinger's work and Britain's advocates of two-child maximum. Britain's, really? Wow. Competition for water will be the next great war. The International War Management Institute claims that food security, and it goes into a bit about the history of that. The World Bank UN Population Fund has issued ultimatums, here we go, regarded to refer to as guidance underdeveloped nations to either implement their plans for population reduction or be withdrawn from the international community. Oh, you know what? According to the UN's Reduction Health and Action Plan, which, I got to that, didn't I? So, well, the UN's Millennium Development Goal number 5, and the goal calls for 75% reduction in material mortality, universal access to reduction, reproductive health 2025. Oh, here we go. Melinda Gates at the recent London Family Planning Summit, didn't know we had one, July, spoke of preventing 40% of unwanted births in undeveloped nations like Africa. And then, so what's that? And India, to introduce the world's human population growth significantly. Population stabilisation, the true meaning behind family planning, is equivalent to the World Bank and EU. UN population funds pushes against sovereign nations to reduce their population by the rule of the global consensus, which takes human rights policy by determining some fit to live what? In this paragraph, population stabilisation, and this second part indicates human rights policy by determining some who's fit to live and others are not, based on the Rockefeller Commission report. It's a Luciferian they are. Oh gosh. Population stabilisation, an endeavour worth pursuing, they claim, although its successors would take decades because of the high incidences of reproduction by marriage. However, with the destruction of the family, wow, they weren't playing around, this the problem would be solved. Furthermore, the stabilisation of the global population would relocate resources to better spend in terms of quality and so you've got a globalist family, bloodline families throughout the generations, dictating all of this and policies throughout the bloodline, trained education establishments, infiltrating everything. And here we are today. And it claims about reforming amount of children born into a married household. The impact on population growth was seen to be natural and tends would take care of social conformity. Those who have more children would be shunned. Increasing access to abortion clinics with the interception of popularity of Planned Parenthood, that's in America I think, would give unacceptable pregnancies. Oh my gosh. This would distract and control another baby boom from occurring. Well, they weren't bloody playing about. Using images, television and film media to control the ideas of modern family to fit the model of population stabilisation for no longer being plagued with runaway births, but focusing at sample of small families is the best way to go. The eugenics, here you go, in two individuals' quotes, proposed after-birth abortion. What? Proposed after-birth abortion for infants up to 2 years, as they are a threat to their parents and society because of the drain on resources, time and energy to care for them. You what the effing? This is dated 2012. Oh my gosh, we are not dealing with the flesh and blood. After birth proposes a form of contraception that would allow babies to be killed after they are born. In a paper published in the journal Medical Ethics, when circumstances occur after the birth such that they would have justified abortion, what we call after birth should be permissible. We propose to call this practice after birth abortion rather than, and it quotes what the word they're using, to emphasise that the moral status of the individual killed is comparable with that of a fetus. How can that possibly be? Rather than that of a child, that human individual is being born within this way. Therefore, we claim that killing a newborn could be ethically permissible in all the circumstances where abortion should be. Such circumstances include cases where the newborn has the potential to have at least an acceptable life, but the well-being of the family is at risk. Quotes who these two individuals are: that infants were a threat to parents because of financial burden. That this justifies the murder of newborn babies. Somebody spoke out about this. Let's have a look who it was. March 8, 2012, the price of right, so where's the article? Price of gas, yeah, but what about this particular article? It says it. Which is republished in some paper. Yeah, this is details of this article, but I can't make it bigger. Okay, I'll go back where I was. I can't bloody believe that. Yeah, she was a smart lady. The rich have these own foods and seeds put away. Exactly, Tanya. Disgusting. Exactly. Oh, I'll just quickly finish up with what that went about. I hope they haven't been suggested that in future plans. Let's go back to the article. It goes on that it was of no consequence to find the point when a fetus is subject to legal limitation with regard to abortion rights. These two individuals claim, with a stigmatization by stating that merely being human is not itself a reason for absconding someone a right of life. What? Just because you're human does not give itself. What? Oh, they already knew that transhumanism was going to be the future, and you're going to turn into a robotic, humanoid cyborg. So the terminology of a natural flesh and blood living soul, human, would be out the water for their future plans. Is that what they mean by this sentence? So merely being human is not in itself a reason for someone's right to life. Indeed, many humans are not considered subjects of a right to life, such as, oh, here we go, spare embryos, where research on embryo stem cells is permitted, or PTs which were aborted is permitted. Really? Did they do all that? Wow. By defining personhood as being established sometime after birth, they go on, and assert that the fetus has no claim to personhood, but therefore no right to life. Oh, this is going on eugenics. This is going beyond the, this is going Luciferian. And it goes on. I'm going to read all this. This is just really just not, this is, oh my, it's not very pleasant to read. And it just it's given them a basis for their assumption. This individual chief itself, what? Hold on. If someone is the chief exec of Stain, which is a company in England, charity also, we already know that premature birth may be linked to what? But to see a certain thing, I won't quote here, but to see evidence in connect to a range of other conditions. I won't quote that. Oh. They put in the energetics agenda to coerce the public into believing that society would be better off without certain burdensome infants. Oh my goodness me. This reminds me of a movie called Children of Men. And that was stated, a futuristic movie, but that's a few years old, where there was lack of children on this is based in England, the movie, in the script. It's a good bloody movie, but what I'm looking at, it seems like that was not much of a movie. Seems like real life. Just going through this. I'm not going to read it all. I'm not going to read it out either. Because so they're going on a genetics agenda with the use of genetic technologies with a collaboration that go back reference to German Nazis. The BCM, whoever that was, a long history of working to expanding their genetics agenda, the use of genetic technology, to create a better human race. Oh, look at that. Look at that technology all those years ago. And here we are today. It's no wonder. Genetic advances. Look what they're doing with the supercomputer brain interface technology. And then you've got all this, Bill and Gates mentioned here again, Foundation. Oh, they hosted the London Family Planning Summit. Oh my gosh. The global elites plan to depopulation by appearing to help and save lives of women. Could be, oh my gosh. Okay, I'll go back to you. We can research it yourself. And that's it. And that's all it's called. It's not my opinion, it's to stop going on sharing information. Well, be prepared because there's a lot more coming, probably. Yeah. It's really disgusting. Goes back in history, Tanya. Oh my god. Can't bloody believe this. Let me see what I can play background. Some chill out, some chill out music. Can you believe that? I have to rest up and listen about my chest. The technology, as you can see, has really got stronger. It doesn't matter if I have the internet on or off. The setups, everything going on. It's not just target individuals now. The bloody one listening about my frequencies are talking my heart and chest. Am I somewhat the reset program financially as well? Smart, anything to do with smart technology is all interlinked, surely. Control every movement, your human life, your existence on the planet. And take a bloody pill to stop you eating meat. No. Everything has always been monitored anyway. With the intervention, with the technology all these years ago, Nazis, I mean, Project Paper. This is demonic. All those years ago. It's not just about one thing or another. It's all connected. It's never going to end this, is it? The total control of humanity on this earth in every subject of the ultimate by 2050, isn't it? First you had the Gen 21, then you had the Agenda 2030, and now we've got Agenda 2050. It's about control, yeah. And I do believe a lot of people are waking up to this. Worldwide, a spiritual awakening, isn't it? And you see what they're spraying upon the populace in the skies. I saw today as well. Yeah. I was just looking at something. This is a spiritual war. It's absolutely war. Light versus dark has always been that way. This earth is a Luciferian. But in the book of Enoch, and people do research on that and look at the fallen angels and the influences to that. It makes a lot of sense. Because what individual, right, all those, well, back in the centuries ago, isn't it, in the bloodline families today, would come up with this, the ultimate, to transform the human individual. I mean, there's innocent kids being born now. What's going to happen to them? they're going to get used to is like the futuristic movies. Oh, if we need a new heart or limb or whatever, we can do 4D printing, 3D printing for the future, and print you one, artificially. And then we have all the technology available. It's like sci-fi. It's like alien type sci-fi technology. Yeah, that's the future, is it? So all those movies, people think, oh, that's bloody good. But it's reality. It's a bit more like the future, isn't it? It's like that website, stopthecrime.net. Go and research that for whatever your opinions are, viewpoints. Just go and have a look at it, even for just entertainment. You'll find a lot of things out. Never take anyone's word for nothing. Just independent research it all. But you see, by the time people do that, the globalist elites have taken over everything. No wonder they're after me. In the way of happening. And many others like me. So, it's a bit like that book, Loard from 1984, and the movie. And anybody hasn't seen that themselves either. It's worth researching and finding it. Oops, I've got to plug in the printer. Not the printer, the computer. I've got to watch this so it doesn't overheat as well. Anyway, kind of just every country will have their own procedures, but in the long run, it will look like it's independent of each other. It's not so, you know. I mean, what meat do I eat? I don't really. It's mainly salads and fruit and veg myself. So I'm not a big meat eater at all. Never have been, really. I was raised on fruit and veg, you know. So it's a bit like in England, going back to the 70s, where you grow your own food, you know. I got a few bits earlier, just quickly, and it was reasonably cheap. But that's so important to research what's the nutrients, you know, and anything you can get, and even in powder form, but taking a bloody pill to stop you wanting to eat meat. And that was suggested in that article, 2002. How many years ago? Think what they got now. So you think, yeah, like you said, they got seed, the vaults in Switzerland, is it? All these different plants and seeds, and I think it's food as well, you know, to regrow. So you think about it, right? And they got the, I don't know if I can actually get music on this now. I've got a thing I can play music on here, on this app. I don't know how to invite others on here yet. I don't know how to get the music up in the background on this app. You can now play background music. Don't even know how to do that. Right. I should be able to get it. Background audio. Let's go back on my thing. I should have on this application, and it's not showing up. I can add music on this. Should have it on it. Got the audio. It's not giving me the option to add the music. Don't know if that's any good. Just adjust audio, the volume. I am way too tired. Yeah, you me too, girl. Maybe did you get any sleep, Tanya? Sorry to hear that. My head is bursting. I've got to have my hair washed in a minute. Excuse me. Right. You're very tired. Did you get much sleep? You didn't hardly get any bloody sleep in this program. Wow. Anyway. So there's this bioweapon technology. The globalist is always testing it out, isn't it, on innocent individuals. So what's kicking off now? Proposals of war. What does it say in scriptures? We hear rumours of wars or something like that. I'm not knowledgeable on specific phrases, but I think mainly the quotation I remember is like the end of times, end days, creating the global one world government, one world army. They're attacking my bloody ears now. Bloody hell, come and leave me alone. So one everything, but all controlled by a central. Oh yeah, and I heard, was it someone else's stream? Jerusalem, is it Jerusalem? They want to build a new world Luciferian control. Is it over the original temple or grounds over Jerusalem? I could be wrong, but there's going to be, and then when you look at the history of, like, it's not just Freemasonry, is it? So you look at the origins of the Luciferian subject, and you look at the players behind that infiltrating all this. I mean, we have to really look in the history of centuries ago. I'm sure those that lived before our time, in the hidden, was it the all those people that built the pyramids and lived before in the centuries ago, I'm sure they knew what was going to affect Earth, in the future, or they tried to write down in the tablets, and archaeologists must have dug up and found the, certain formats and artifacts, and then tried to translate it all. And it's a bit like people say, well, the Bible is fictional. because it was written by man, and it's like you look back the history of Christianity really, because you could all, not argue, but could say that Christianity actually was not innocent in creating all those years ago. It's a bit like traditional paganism. I mean, but really in the ancient days, didn't people, especially farmers for food and stuff like that, didn't they rely on the stars and the charts and the constellations of the planets and the stars and the bit like what we know now as the birth charts, and they would chart out from Earth the stars for the seasons and know when to grow the crops and so forth before modern technology came around. So then you have all these people. It makes you wonder, the original inventors of the telegram, and then the telegram poles for communications, then for television. And when I found these patterns a long time ago, it just all makes sense really, doesn't it? I mean, these bloodline families, you get inventors, design technology in those days, with the telegraph poles and I looked at a long time ago now the first underground wires, telegram mobile. No, they weren't mobile. The telegram wires came under a beach in Cornwall, the first outpost, and it linked. I'm not sure if it was what company it's called now, but I don't know where I found that document now, so I can't revisit and find it again. But it did mention it come under the sea, under the sand, up into a small military unit. It wasn't that big, and it wasn't even that clearly identified. A long time ago. So Britain was the first telegram service, originated from that link. And then you got the IBM. So, yeah, anyway. I just like that. Yeah, so fascists, imperials, again, you just need to look at history, the ancient dialogues and documents, and seeing humanities repeating itself, all over again. It's like, it's like bankers' wars, isn't it, really? And the bankers trying to control the populace, but people are fighting back, spiritually as well as logically. So I won't go into that, I'll just cut that article out. Because there's so much information out there, it would be too much. Yeah. No, it will never end. It's all about mind control. Yeah, exactly, Tanya. Exactly. Oh, that's okay. It's just something I thought it's worth. It just all links back to the same. It just all links back to one thing. Transhumanism, stop sharing now. Transhumanism, Agenda 2050. And it's just trying to focus on, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Focus on spirituality, knowing your soul, who you are. It's very, very, that's what the demonic side of life don't want us to do as a humanity, is to focus on our spiritual within, our spiritual essence. Because to upload our consciousness and to supercomputers, for them to interpret and abstract our natural, our human, the electrical makeup of certain parts of the brain, And all those scientists years ago doing all these autopsies and trying to decipher the makeup of the brain. And look where we are with the technology now. So you got Elon Musk that wants to put the Neuralink, the brain chip. It's a bit like the Matrix bloody movie, innit? And all the other similar type. But here we are in reality. But when they started experimenting on the bull, with the mind chip all those years ago, that was just public knowledge, isn't it? Makes you wonder what they were doing way before that. Anyway, this is where I see, because I saw subtle things in my situation. Why am I getting all these automated letters? Why is always, I'm constantly emailing to try and rearrange things, and suddenly now they block all my, right to repairs and all the setups and everything else. It's all because a fallen demonic entities put us in a program. So Monarch Butterfly, NK Ultra, targeted program, and for what? Research and experimentation for their future technology without consent. Who's going to pay out, in gold or silver to all us worldwide? That's what we're going for. Who's going to be held accountable? I mean, in England, you cannot, as well, people will try, but there are, I'm going to see if she's in the chat on this Telegram group. I'm just watching the time because I have to have my hair washed and dried. Let me see if she's actually in. Let's see. I'm going to get the target individual group up. Generation usually puts some good links, but they block people coming into my main internet anyway. There was a voice chat, he doesn't always put it up. What the subpole now, they got technologies. Yeah, a lot of things are coming out. Just having a look. There's so many people worldwide now, isn't there? How to disable F chips and nano implants. I'll play that in the background. If I can.
Hello everybody.
Lucky me. Okay, so I'll get off here now. You too, Tanya. Well, tell about the family at the moment, the way things are, but yeah. Right, take care. Best one can. Email me. I'll keep in touch best I can, Tanya. Okay.